Hello students, Mr. Sims here. Our first video, and actually be two video lessons for lesson 1 of module 3. And this is probably one of my favorite modules because of the amount of experience that I have teaching algebra. So we've got a couple of examples. So example number 1, I'm going to go through fairly quickly because of the Fast and Furious class in the previous day. Looked like you guys had a pretty good handle on this, but let's review combining like terms. So we talk about like terms. For you guys right now, you're looking for same variables. All right, just kind of a recap from the lesson previous. So what we're going to do is we're going to rewrite, okay? And actually, I'm going to also write this word here, equivalent expressions. Right? Because equivalent means it would be the same expression that would have the same value. So let's go through this. So for A, we write 5x plus 3x and 5x minus 3x by combining like terms. So 5x plus 3x. Well, if you think of this as I have 5 x's, I have 3 more x's, that means I would have 8 x's total. Okay, so fairly straightforward. And then a combining with a positive and a negative, or subtraction. 5x minus 3x. If you have 5 x's but you take 3 x's away, you have 2 x's left. All right, so fairly straightforward. Okay. B. Find the sum. Sum means combine, basically, or adding. You know, that's the word you're typically used to seeing is adding. But just like with integers, I'm trying to be very careful about using the words adding and subtracting. Right? So we have 2x plus 1 and we have 5x. So what we would do is we're going to verify. So let's first of all combine the like terms. So I have a 2x and a 5x that I can put together, and 2x and 5x together equals 7x. Plus 1. All right, so what we're going to talk about is verify the equivalence of when the expression when x is equal to 3. So I'm going to start off first of all with the 2x plus the 1 and the 5x. And remember that x is a variable. It can represent any number. So when I take the 3 and I plug it in for x, here I'm going to have 2. Now when there's nothing there, we assume that it's multiplication. So it's 2 times 3 plus 1. If we follow our orders of operations, 6 plus 1 is 7. And then we plug the 3 in for x on this one, we get 5 times 3, which equals 15. And if I add the 7 and 15 together, I get 22. All right, so now let's take the 7x plus 1 expression and plug the 3 in here. So now we get 7 times 3 plus 1. 7 times 3 is 21, plus 1 is 22. So you see that the value of the expressions don't change. All right, so that's just what verify means. And we don't have to do that very often. That's going to come when we're solving equations and we're checking our solutions. All right, then C. Want to be careful with negatives here. We got negative 3a plus 2 and 5a minus 3. Now, one of the things that I'll show you too when we do expressions is you guys are used to doing arithmetic vertically. So if it helps you when you want to write these underneath each other, like you would do if they were numbers, then we can go ahead and do that. So we get 2 minus, so we go 2 minus 3. If I have $2, that's negative 1. When I combine negative 3 and 5a, I get 2a. All right, and I'm not going to worry about verifying. That's going to be more for when we solve. All right, so what's going to happen is you're going to pause and you're going to go ahead and do these problems here. This is going to be check point number 1. All right, and then you'll check in with myself or Mrs. Fox, and then we'll go from there. All right, so go ahead and hit pause. All right, moving on to, now we're back. You're moving on to example number 2, where now we're going to talk about combining expressions. Okay, an expression is just a mathematical statement with numbers, variables, well, we don't do exponents in 7th grade, but later on in math you'll do exponents. So combining expressions is when you're going to start seeing things like this, where you have the expression 10 plus 10b plus. Now this is where we got to be careful. You're used to seeing parentheses as multiplication, but this is really just taking this expression and I'm going to add it or combine it with the expression before. So something that you might like to do is go ahead and write the 10b underneath. Right? And there's nothing to go with the 6, so you can put a 0 there or just not put anything there. So if I have negative 10b plus 10b, well, those are 0 pair, so that becomes 0, and we get 6. Okay. Well, We have lost focus. There we go. We're back. All right, B. So we've got 5a plus 3b minus 6c plus 2a minus 4b plus 3c. So, I mean, like I said, you could do this vertically or horizontally, which is this is one of the things about algebra. It's done horizontally most of the time. So we can combine our a's. So I'm going to kind of switch back and forth between doing it horizontally or doing it vertically, and then you can pick whatever method it is that is easier for you. So we got 5a and 2a, which is 7a. All right. Then we combine our b's. 3b. You also have to include the sign. So we have 3b minus 4b, which is negative 1b. Or you can just write negative b. And then we combine our c's. Negative 6c plus 13c. Negative 6 plus 13 is plus 7c. And that's completely done. Sometimes when I do them vertically or horizontally like this, I try to cross them out so that I know I did them already. All right, not necessary. All right, and C. Combine our x's. So this one I'll put the negative, watch this, negative 4x underneath. I don't have anything to put underneath the y, but I'll put the plus 10 underneath the 12. So I just go down here, negative 12 plus 10, I borrow 12, get back 10, I still owe 2. And what happens on this one is the 3y just gets brought down. There's nothing to put together with it, so it just gets brought down. And then negative 5 minus 4. Borrow 5, borrow 4 more. I owe 9 x's. Okay. And then just one more here. You notice this one I threw a lot of negatives in it, so I just want to make you be aware of negatives. I know we're still getting used to that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take each one of these terms, and you could do it. Notice on this one I took these terms and wrote them underneath this. You could also go this way. Negative 8f minus 3g minus 10, and just write them under that. So we do positive 21 minus 10 would be positive 11, and you do have to put the signs in if it's in the middle. If I borrow 8 and I borrow 3 more, that's minus 11g. And then if I have 7 but I need 8, I don't have enough, I need to borrow 1. So we get 1f. All right, so this concludes the video, and this is checkpoint number 2, exercise 2, before we move on to the next second video that will be coming later. So this is Mr. Sims signing off.